Do you want people to like you and do what you want them to do? You might be a sociopath, or you might just be a normal person. Either way, you and I need to have a chat. See, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be better at influencing the people in your life, and in fact, it's kind of a normal human function. And it's a function that goes by a lot of names, one of which is leadership. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's great, but I'm not in a leadership position, and I'm here to tell you that you are. Leadership is really just the art of influencing people, and you do that every day. Every human who exists in a social environment is a leader to some degree or another because we're all trying to influence people and how they interact with us. From getting people to listen to your opinion on social media to convincing your boss to give you a promotion, you're trying to lead people to an outcome that you want. And for that reason, everyone should take the time to study the art of leadership. It can be applied universally in all aspects of your life. I apply leadership to my work, my marriage, my social media, hell, even my video games. And if you don't believe me, try running raids on Destiny 2 with strangers and tell me you don't need good leadership skills. The point is, you don't necessarily need to be in a leadership position to apply the lessons you learn from studying leadership. By becoming better at leading, you become better at, well, being a human. You become better at interacting with people, influencing people, and helping people. And beyond the day-to-day aspects of it, think about it from the perspective of a hiring manager. Personally, whenever I'm looking to fill a position, and especially a leadership position, I very heavily weigh a candidate's current leadership ability. If I see that you're already a leader among your peers, that you're someone that they come to for guidance and advice, I'm going to weigh that much more heavily than I do somebody who's a smooth talker and tells me all about what they think they could do as a leader. And look, here's the thing, I absolutely believe in natural born leaders, but the vast majority of people aren't that, and that's okay. All that means is that they need to consciously develop their leadership abilities, and they're probably going to surpass that natural born leader who doesn't put the effort in. Now, if you are a natural born leader and you take the time to study leadership anyway, you're going to become a force of nature in every aspect of your life. Nobody has ever, in the history of ever, taken the time to study leadership and become worse off for it. Myself and countless others, though, have taken the time to study leadership, and it's entirely changed our lives. My goal as a content creator is to help people experience the same benefits that I have through the careful study and application of leadership. Usually this is the time that I would take to shill a product I've created or a course that I've developed, but frankly I'm not at that stage yet. Instead, I'm going to take a quick break to tell you that if you've been listening and you care about developing your leadership abilities, you should check out the rest of my content. And if my content speaks to you and you get value out of it, consider subscribing. And with that out of the way, I want to address a few ways that you can apply leadership in your day-to-day life, regardless of whether or not you're in a leadership position. First off, you really need to be looking at most human interactions as leadership opportunities. Whether you're asking somebody for a favor, discussing politics, or having a calm and rational discussion with your significant other, you can apply leadership principles to help you out. Whether you realize it or not, each of these situations involves trying to influence a person's reactions and opinions. And if you become adept at the nuances of leadership, you can better exert that influence without seeming manipulative. And also, by learning to lead people, you learn to frame questions, statements, and requests in such a way that people don't immediately oppose what you just said. So for instance, I was listening to Jocko Willink a while back, and he said something along the lines of, if somebody gives you a proposal that sucks, don't immediately tell them that it sucks and how to fix it. Instead, frame your concern as a hypothetical and allow them to walk you through their solution to the problem. That way they address your concerns on their own, and all you've done is guide them to that outcome. You don't come across as adversarial and make them resent your input. And by letting them walk you through their solution, you might see an angle that you wouldn't have considered. And lastly, I touched on this earlier, but when it comes time to start looking at promotion within your organization, one of the best things that you can do is develop yourself as a leader. Usually when companies are looking to promote, it's not actually because they see potential, it's because they think you're already ready for the next step. Now, of course, there's going to be some turnover in training for your new duties, and they expect that, but what they don't necessarily want is to have to develop you as a leader at the same time. If you've already proven your leadership abilities in your current role, you're going to stand out, and they're going to be more likely to take you up to that next step. And the cool thing is, these are just a few examples of how you can apply leadership in your day-to-day life, even if you're not in a leadership role. The practical applications are almost endless, as are the outcomes. That's why leadership is such a nuanced skill that requires deliberate study and practice. Once you devote time to studying leadership, you'll be able to intuitively identify areas in your own life and your unique circumstances where you can apply those skills. With all that being said, my goal is to help you along your leadership journey and provide you with real-world skills and concepts that you can use in your day-to-day life like I have in mine. If I provided you some value, be sure to check out the rest of my content where I go a little bit more into the nitty-gritty of leadership. But before you go, leave a like, a comment, and consider subscribing for more No Bull Leadership.